What's up, you guys? This is Rob from Maggot Guy Plays, and today on Dress to Kill, we're going to be taking a look at my round 12 TennoGen haul. And to be honest with you, the number just keeps going up and up and up, and the quality just gets better and better every single time. It's absolutely amazing. But before we go ahead and jump into the review, as always, I need to put out a little bit of a disclaimer. Occasionally, I get comments that say, oh, you forgot this skin, you forgot this SANDR, yada yada yada, so on and so forth. I need to remind y'all that Rob has a very particular aesthetic, and sometimes that aesthetic doesn't necessarily jive with some of the items that are on offer. So instead of dragging an artist through the mud and saying, I didn't like it because of this or that reason, I'm gonna let you guys decide what you think is good or not. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave a link in the description box below where you can take a look at every single thing that was released and take a look at the things that I did decide to feature, because you know what, aesthetics are different for anybody. Just because I don't like something doesn't mean that you won't like it. However, I'm not gonna spend my own personal hard-earned cash on something that I don't necessarily love, and you guys do have to remember that this is out of my own pocket, and Rob gotta save up some money for a pizza party at TennoGen. So I hope to see you guys there, but let's go ahead and stop chatting and just jump into the review. So starting things off, we have the Silica helmet by Arsenal for Garrett, and let me tell you, this is her like inaugural piece of fashion frame, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Now, the thing about the other Garrett helmets that are out there is they are very, very kind of like, I guess you would say, samurai inspired. This takes her in a totally different direction. She's like got a little bit of that Marvel feel in there, you know what I mean? And I'm really digging it. Now, while I do love this look on this color scheme, let's take a look at it on here, because this is where I fucking love it. I was like gonna bleep myself out there for a second and I wasn't going to, but one of the things that I almost want to kind of like put in there, if you want to like put a little touch of neon in there a little bit, you know, make the glass pop, maybe make some lining pop, you've got a really strong Tron look. I'm not big on the whole Tron aesthetic, but when it looks this good, I say why not. The last little bit that I do want to say about this helmet is the fact that I love how it kind of plays in with the rest of her outfit. She's got some like soft curves in there, and this thing doesn't necessarily try to compete. Sometimes we get helmets that are really just trying to go for the gold, you know what I mean? They're trying to go over the top and really say, look at how great of an artist I am, I'm so badass, look at all the crazy things I put on here. But it's nice and simple, and it works with the rest of the piece, and I think that is very important. Alrighty, now moving on to SANDRs, I am breaking one of my rules here. I wanted to show you a SANDR that I'm considering picking up, but I'm still not 100% sure about it, and this is the Despot Cape SANDR by Volkovi and Sab531. This is one of those ones that sit on the cusp. It's got some good back attachments. It's got some nice space so that you can see any sigils that you have on the back. However, the danglies don't quite do it for me, but they kind of do it for me. I'm like conflicted. I'm heavily conflicted on this one. It's one of those that I am considering, but I'm not quite 100% sure yet. But let's move into one of the SANDRs that I am, and this by, you know, no means is also made by Volkovi, this time in aid with LED 2012. And this is the Du Volpi SANDR. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like, this was actually one of the ones that I was like, I'm considering not buying this one. But I went ahead and tried it on. I decided to go ahead and give it a little bit of a shot, played with the metallics, and I think it absolutely looks fucking fantastic. You know how like I run around on Twitter and I'm like, I'm the mother of dragons. This makes me feel very Mother of Dragon-esque. It almost looks like little dragon wings that have been plated down. I love it. I'll be honest, the physics on it are a little bit weird. Like, we can look at it here. It's a little strange, but you know what? I'm not going to hate it. Very, very similar to the SANDR that we were looking at just a second ago. It also shows off the sigils on the back. So if you really have a nice back sigil placement that you're a fan of, this is definitely going to be one of those ways that you can show it off. Happy with this one, and I think one of my issues with it was that the gradient on it was a little too bright, but it is definitely something that you can control. So as you can see here, you know, you can make it subtle, you can make it really like in your face. But for me, as you guys know, know, I like to keep it a little bit toned down. So I kind of just doubled up on it here to make it double dark, and I think it works out fantastically. Continuing on with that Tron theme that we had from a little bit earlier, we have the Axura Sayandana by Cobalt and Malayu. And this one, if you're trying to kind of like get another feel for the Mesa Sayandana but not necessarily primed, this is going to be your go-to. I only have one real complaint about it, is the second that you move in it, sometimes these things will actually turn in on themselves and they look a little bit odd because sometimes they're facing the same way and they kind of flip-flop. That's just kind of like how physics are, but you know I'm a sucker for a good metallic, and I'm loving the fact that it looks like you've got a couple blades that you could just whip out here and just knife someone with, because, you know, extra knives are always a bonus when it comes to your Sayandanas. So I am all about that. I'm loving the lining, and I'm loving the kind of like energy effects that they've got that are glimmering. I also like the fact that this metallic is carried all the way through. I'm not sure if you're catching it right there, but they have some metallics also in there and right there. So I love that kind of carry through and kind of follow through. It's something that's a little bit different. I know that we just looked at another kind of double back attachment Sayandana, but this is kind of like the new hot trend that has been coming up when we look at the TennoGen artists that are working on Sayandanas. So I'm definitely a big fan of this one. It might be a little too over the top for most of my stuff, but I damn well know that some of you guys out there, especially those of you that were digging on that Mesa Sayandana, are definitely going to be fond of this one. Now, next up on the Sayandana list was literally my final purchase, and I literally had to pull out my wallet for this one because usually I just do everything on PayPal, but I kind of like spent all my PayPal money doing this. So a part of me was like, okay, I really need to be committed to see if I really want this one, and I'm definitely happy about this one. This is the Mahusu Sayandana, and this one is by Stench Fury, because, you know, he likes to fuck up my mouth like that. Oh, that sounds inappropriate. But this one I thought was very cool. It reminded me a lot about his Shark Fin Sayandana that he had put out a little bit ago, but this one is a little bit more elaborate and over the top, and to be honest with you, I don't really know exactly where else I would use this aside from Chroma, because it just feels so appropriate, especially because we had the Chroma kind of like dual fins on the deluxe version. So I was like, okay, this kind of fits. I'm kind of into it, and I'm definitely loving it on this look. But that also gives us a smooth transition into the skins category that we're going to be taking a look at today, and we're going to start with the, oh my god, what is the name of this thing? The Thyrus Chroma set. Now I'm going to be honest with you, and I have to put this out for everybody because I think that this is a general rule, that Chroma is a hard Warframe to, what's the word I want to say, to customize for. Like, it's really hard for them to do customizations for Chroma just because of his body shape and his weird texture. It's really odd. But overall, I'm not hating this. I'm actually not hating it at all. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of the helmet. However, I do like this back energy placement. I kind of like that fin, and it's got this cool gradient. I've loved that a lot, and I love it on his chin as well. The actual shape of the helmet itself, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of. There is one gripe. Let's actually go and take a look at the just effigy on its own. It's not bad, but the one thing that I do need to point out, and you guys know this, there are untintable colors. And for me, that always hurts my soul just a little bit. I'm like, oh no, untintables. And I try to mention them where I can because sometimes we have to color around those untintable schemes. If anybody's ever tried to do it where they wanted to do something that didn't necessarily include the gray, that could be an issue. The other issue that I do have with the skin, and don't get me wrong, I like this skin. I need to put that out there. I like the skin. I'm not like madly deeply in love with it, but I think that I would like it a little bit more, as if you see these like light little bits right here, I almost feel like it's missing a texture. I almost feel like that is where the metallic should be. So as you can see right here, the skin does not look like it's got any kind of metallics. It just looks like an odd tint. But you have to go for crazy bright tints. So as you can see right here, I'm picking this like really powerful kind of like coral color, right? The only ways to get tints on this is to go for really high pigmented colors. So I think that that's just a little bit off with the texture mapping, and I think that is meant to be metallic because as it stands, it's doing nothing. And I know that Stench has put in metallics in his other what do you call this, in his other skins, so I'm assuming that that might just be a little bit of an issue at this point in time, but I'm sure that once it's corrected it'll look even better, because I'm looking right here, and that's where the metallics should be, and if the metallics were there, this skin would damn well be a bit more poppin', right? I think that you guys would agree. I think the same goes for the Donna. I think that it would pop just a little bit more if the textures were metallic, which I think is what he was going for initially. So me at this moment in time, I'm kind of like wish-washy. I like it. It's as good as you can do with the chroma skin, but it's definitely not quite there yet. At least not without some metallics to really deliver some punches. I'm willing to revisit once that gets shifted. Moving along though, we do have another chroma skin, and this one's got metallics. So we have our chroma fucking Grax. This bastard. Don't get me wrong. The shape of chroma is always a little bit weird. It's always a little bit wonky. But legitimately, Faven_PS knocks it out again with his Chroma Grax skin. I'm very happy with this one. I think this one looks super dope. And as always, for those out there who may not necessarily be the best at coloration, Faven makes a skin that is fairly easy to color. It's not gonna be one of those ones that you want to bash your head against a rock for. But let's go ahead and take a look at its effigy on its own. It's very nice. I'm missing a little bit of, you know, the traditional cum splatters that we've been seeing on some of the other Graxes that he's been doing. But, you know, you can't always be cummy all the time. But you can look pretty gosh darn good. And I think that this is the big difference that some metallics make, as opposed to the one that we saw from Stench Furies. Stench Furies was great. It just needed a little bit of a pop. And as you can see here, the metals really do pop and come and play through with the entire skin. I know that this is going to be one of those ones that's pretty much an instant buy for everybody. So enjoy, have fun doing your colorations, and let's go ahead and move on to a different frame. I am kind of living for this Loki skin. This one is the Erebus skin, and it is by the graphical Walrus. Yes? Volbjorn. Are you Volbjorn the graphical walrus anymore, or are you just Volbjorn? Listen, don't fuck with me with all these names, you guys. You're making it difficult for me. But I am absolutely loving this. The only thing that I will have you notice is that the energy, because of these pustules, specifically because of these pustules in the back, I could not do red, yellow, or I couldn't do red, pink, or like the magenta E kind of colors because it triggers my little I don't like the dots. But this, however, I think it's fucking fantastic. I love it, and you could go crazy with some of the colors out there too. Let me tell you right now, I was playing around with it and I was like, oh my god, it just looks so good. You can do so much with it. And you can really add in crazy pops of color if you like it. Because of the fact that this is such a, an imaginative and kind of whimsical skin, but also kind of intense and dark and deep. But you can see how the colors pop and they blend, and the gradation is just so well done. It makes me mad because I don't like infested things, and this asshole made me buy an infested thing and really enjoy it. I was actually going to do something like that, and then it reminded me of McDonald's, and I was like, I had to stop. But very big fan of this. I think it looks absolutely amazing. I love the, who would have thought to put these weird, tentacle back thing? I don't know. I'm super duper into it, as always. Volbjorn, also known as the graphical walrus, which is what I'm going to continue calling you, because I just feel right about it. Definitely hit a knockout for this one. We don't get very many Loki skins, and I think that this is one of those ones where you're just like, oh, it's so pretty. Look, even when you put some of the intense colors there, it looks so good. Just all of it looks it's really well done. The coloration is well done, and I don't like enjoying pustules as much as this is, but I think it's absolutely fantastic. Now let's go ahead and take a look at another one that I'm also angry about because the damn Walrus got me. So real quick, let's take a look at the skins that are already available for goddamn Volt. A frame I don't even necessarily like playing all the time. Someone that I think is an absolute demon. We have the Capacitor skin. We have the Grax. We have the Prominence skins, which is actually really freaking good. We have the Proto variation. We have the Zener variation. Then we have a whole bunch of other helmets that go along with it too. The Capacitor as well. Did I say Capacitor? I hope I said Capacitor because I like that one a lot. But we have all of those. I don't even play them. And I bought the damn skin. He got me. He's such a bitch. Mr. Volbjorn. God damn you, Graphical Walrus, because you made me buy another skin. I didn't even want to buy because I don't even like him. But it looks so freaking good. It just does. It just does, and it makes me angry at how talented this jackass is. Like, look at the attention to detail. Look at the blending and the gradation that you see on the thighs and the chest. It's just all so flippin' well done. And the fact that you can go bright or you can go subtle with it. You can take it to, like, really, like, flesh caliber places. Like, this is totally something that you could rock a flesh caliber on. And it would look gruesome and gross, but so badass at the same time. So, hats off to you because walruses don't wear hats. You did a good job. You got me to buy another skin for this damn frame I don't even like because you did a fantastic job. Good, fantastic, amazing job, jerkface. Okay, since we're talking about a frame with way too many skins, I figured we would go ahead and jump into this next beauty. Yes! This is the Maggot Pharaoh skin by Master Noob, but we also have the Mag Alada skin, the Mag Grax skin, the Mag Kinata skin, we have the Mag Orbit skin, the Mag Deluxe skin. I'm just like, what? How do you guys keep getting me to buy things I don't need? But I feel like I need it. And I mean, look at this gorgeousness. You need this gorgeousness. Oh my god. Look at this. Look at the dual metallics, okay? Dual metallics. And I left this this sigil on in the back because I love, that's one of my favorite sigils just in general. And I love the fact that it just kind of fits in that gap perfectly. I was like, I gotta look so goddamn freaking good. And you can see it really on this shoulder piece. I have a darker metallic in there, then I have a lighter metallic right there. It's a soft, subtle contrast, then boom, you get hit by the helmet. So not only do you have the simplicity of kind of like the overall frame, they've got some, like, you know, texture work on the legs, and of course we've got the metallics that have been added in, but everything kind of culminates to this big focal point, which is that new energy effect on her helmet, which I think is absolutely freaking fantastic. And everything just kind of works together to be really, really classy, really, really understated, but also really still have a pop. Because when you have the dual metallics on there, it's nice to kind of just offset each other softly and not do anything too crazy. I mean, we could also, I mean, if we really wanted to, we could go ahead and toss a little bit of rose gold on there, but make it like a fair rose gold. So now we have like a mixture of like the soft rose on the arms and then like the actual like traditional rose gold. So we have the rose metallic and then we have the rose gold blending in together to make this beautiful, wonderful double metallic baby. I love it. And it's classy and it's simple. And here's the thing. I love so many of the other mag skins. I really, really do. I'm a big fan of them all. But sometimes you just want to pare it back a little bit. And this is a great and fantastic skin for that. If you guys are looking for something a little bit simple that still has a pop, this is definitely one to check out. Now, we've arrived at a skin that I have been waiting for. This one has been in the making for such a long time, and this is the NYX Irelia skin by Hitsu-san. And let me tell you, it is fucking glorious. Oh my god. I love, like, it almost looks like the back has little wings on it. I'm like, it looks so cool. The face has got like feathers, and it does have that little ash kind of like tendril that we had in some of the other looks, the Excalibur one as well, which kind of fits along with that, but it's very feathery and it's very kind of like bird-like. I'm loving it because there's so many other like variations of her that almost make her look like a hive queen, but in this case she almost looks like some sort of bird of paradise, a little bit like peacocky, which I'm definitely fond of. The one thing that I love about the skin is the gradation of the energy colors. Look at how that goes into some deep rich tones in the back and the back of the thighs. The chest, it looks fantastic on. There's a lot that you can kind of like play around with here, but it all looks absolutely amazing, and I'm definitely blown away by it. Hitsu-san like knocks it out of the park again. It's classy. I do notice a little some booty texture, some upper booty texture. I don't know if that was necessary, but it's there just in case, you know, just in case you're into that kind of stuff. But again, I do love the back details of the shoulders going into wings, and the same thing that kind of goes for the face bits. It's just so classy and so refined. We were just talking about how we wanted to reel it back in a little bit with the mag skin, and this kind of does the same thing. There's a lot of skins out there like that I've said like before, like they go for the gold and they want to like put everything in there and they want to really show exactly how, you know, how technically skilled they are, and we're like, we get it, but sometimes you need to just rein it back a little bit. And I think that this is the perfect balance of texture, metallic, but not necessarily going too over the top where we're just hit with somebody who's trying to show the world how amazing they are at everything. Listen, sometimes you don't need to flex on them. Sometimes you could just drop something nice and classy and then drop the mic right after that. Amazing job as always. Love it. And last but not least, we arrive at the Mesa Marlet skin, which is yet another collaboration between Procedicin and Cheshire, who did a fantastic job on the Ember Majesty skin as well. And they've followed suit with yet another awesome addition. However, I do have some things that I feel that I need to put in there. Number one, I love the freaking helmet. The helmet is just on point. I just think that it's amazing looking. However, I feel like we are missing that cute little tail that we saw, but you know, they might have edited that down. This gives me a very kind of like dark, almost gothic feel, which I'm very into, and which was not necessarily something that I was thinking about when it came to Mesa, so I really like that kind of like shift in my brain. I love the texturing that they've done on the legs, and here's the interesting thing. At least in my like observation when it comes to both Procedicin and Cheshire. I feel more Cheshire than Procedicin, but they like them spikes. They like a lot of spikes, and you can still definitely see that in the way that the skin is designed, the way that it's textured. You see it a little bit in the helmet, but you know, Ember Majesty was, you know, she got some spikes on her too, so they did a lot of spikes on her. I feel like they reeled it in just a little bit. For Mesa, they didn't have as much to work with. But the one place that I will ding this skin, and I'm about to do some revealings right here in this moment. Let's go ahead and grab a little bit of rose gold. The metallics on this one I almost feel like are a little too much, but there's also a weird balance that's going on. So we've got the metallics, right? Metallics are on and popping, but I'm catching a couple bits and pieces where the metallics don't quite look metallic-y, but instead they look kind of plasticky, which is definitely a bit of a heartburn for me. It almost feels like we've got some matte portions. So as you can see here, like on the back of the shoe, I'm like, that's her shoe, bitch. Make that whole thing metallic. Yes, I will take a full-on metallic shoe. I am all about that. I am definitely happy about that. Some parts on the shirt don't catch as metallic as other parts. So I feel like it's a little strange because it's like we got some metallics and then we got some not metallics. So the textures is a little bit off, and I feel like with as much as metallics that we have on here, of course I'm going to kind of like tone it down a little bit so it's not as in your face and it's not really as noticeable when you put in a color that is a little bit deeper and not so like you know, right there in your face. It doesn't hurt as much. However, for someone with a little bit of a persnickety eye, you know, you guys know I'm like checking for this kind of stuff, right? So when I see that, I'm like a little bit like, why is this so pretty and shiny on her shoe, but the back end of it not as pretty and shiny? I need that whole shoe to be popping. All right, because the skin is already in a really, really great place. So part of me is like, let's make sure to keep it all really, really fantastic instead of having little bits of that. And to be honest with you, I don't think that that's a Cheshire Pro Citizen thing. I think that's a thing that DE needs to come through and tweak. But even on a skin like Mesa, which is fairly sleek, they still manage to incorporate all them damn spikes. And I'm gonna be honest with you, they do look pretty good. As long as your metallic isn't too crazy strong, I think you are gonna be good on this one. And I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of a fan. I actually like this back detail too that they did here. All of this back detailing is actually pretty fucking fantastic. All of that. But this one, this kind of like, it looks like some sort of clover kind of on the back. Into it. So another great addition to the Mesa set. But regardless, that about does it for me for now. Let me know how you all feel in the comments below. Which skins are your favorite from this batch? Are you loving the Mesa? Are you loving finally the Nick skin that came out? How about that Mag one? Mag's got a ton of skins out there. Is this the skin that you're going to? And can we all be mad at Mr. Volbjorn, Mr. Walrus Man? Because I'm spending more money than I need to spend, sir. Regardless, that about does it for me for now. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch yo TennoGen. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.